are part of the Interaction Design Association, which is an international group. We are the Cincinnati chapter of IxDA. We meet up monthly, cover a variety of topics, all centered around UX, UI, design, user research. And we typically meet monthly, kind of towards the mid to the end of the month, at different locations. Tonight, Engage was kind enough to host us, so we really appreciate that, and this was such a great space too.
Driven technology and management consulting company. That purpose-driven is key to who we are. It's just part of our DNA, and it manifests in stuff like us sharing our space.
Actually engage and interact with each other, have some time to network, and so we'll have a little bit of presentation and, more importantly, some time to actually have some time together to meet each other and talk a bit about our craft. And also, when it comes to decision making, a lot of that is innately built into a lot of these more design thinking activities that have come along with the discovery process itself.
We were just cranking out websites. We weren't thinking about like, what problems are we solving here? We're just going to put this business online. And I'm kind of a black and white thinker, more logical, in between logical and creative, which poses challenges. Sometimes where you want to kind of explore the problem and understand what sort of impact it is going to have in the solution that you're working on. But there are a lot of tools out there. There's a lot of templates that you're focused on, and actually getting down to the right problem, because often stakeholders will come to you with a problem and it's actually not the problem that needs to be solved.
But in practice, if you're able to go through this discovery process, it kind of frames things in a more, how might we look at one problem and break it down into smaller, more bite-sized pieces that are easier to solve and ultimately easier to implement and identify and test over time.
Internal overhead of like what it's going to take to build a product, to design a product, to test it out. Doing that work up front can reduce the risks.
Different design thinking activities, or organizing different thoughts in a framework that allows you to move towards that in a user-centered way, encouraging research, testing, validation along the way, all things that we talk about and do, but a lot of times we don't have a framework in which, or a continuous framework in which to operate those sort of ideals. So a great reason to bring the idea of discovery along to your product team.
It's not a workshop. It's not something you're going to go into a room for like 2 hours and come out and have everything that we covered on the last slide mapped out with 100% confidence. It's kind of an ongoing journey. It could be a series of workshops, but it's kind of an ongoing discovery process. And it's not so much about defining delivery. You're kind of more focused here on the what versus how. How kind of potentially comes later or gets mixed in with the development process, but it's not so much focused on how that work will and the design will play itself out. And it is not always the same process, right?
Right? Depending on the problem that you're solving, you may be cyclically going through a few of these steps. They may not even be these specific steps, because a lot of times it really does come down to what problem are you solving. Every problem is different. You should probably approach it differently. That's where having the idea of discovery and continuous discovery can really help you adapt once you know a lot of these mind mapping activities that would fit into some of these lanes, if you will.
UX design as a concept is kind of not only growing in popularity, but it's seeping into other disciplines.
A UX designer for a couple of weeks out of Austin helped us do it, and it helped them at least get things set up.
Yeah.
So, very valuable.
That's the other valuable thing I think about UX is that it reveals those types of process complexities that we may not always see or that we can kind of take for granted. So,
Yeah.
but now I think it's kind of proven its value within the market, and everybody kind of gets that it's a good approach. That putting products in the hands of actual users is a good idea.
I just discover in the app, like I found the pay at the pump thing, and I was like, this is the best gas experience ever. I don't know if you guys use it.
I've done like the wireframes for our product, so I'm a project manager and I work with a lot of different designers, developers, QA, the whole gamut.
Refining is kind of fun because it means you're getting closer to the best solution for the product or the client. You're actively saying, okay, this didn't work so great, this did, and you're making choices and saying, all right, this is getting closer to what we really need it to be. So.